Maltoni from Conversation Agent, and she's going to talk a little bit about social media today, how we're in a conversation age, and we're sitting here in Philadelphia at Temple University before Valeria has a class to speak, so we'll kind of get through this pretty quickly. So Valeria, thank you for joining me. How are you today?
Thank you. Fantastic.
Good, good. So I think we're just going to jump right in, and my show is a lot about transparency,
yeah.
And so our viewers can get to know the people that they're influenced by on a regular basis. And you have over 15,000 readers on your blog, so I think it's safe to say that you're influencing a great deal of people. So, just what's your key to continuously producing insightful and in-depth content on a daily basis on your blog?
It's called work. I spend a lot of time. I'm very interested in things. Early on in my career, that was a problem. I don't see that as a problem as much anymore, especially on the agency side or consulting side. As you know, I made the switch between corporate life and the dark side, as they call it, a year ago. And I'm very curious about things. And I had my whole education in Italy, so they taught us at the time to be very research-driven, very factual-based, but also very curious. So I love looking at problems conceptually, but also looking at how do you solve that problem practically. So it's a little bit of a combination of the things that I read, the things that I hear about, and the opportunities that I see for communicators to make a dent in the universe, frankly.
So you touched on your education is from Italy, and
yes.
I love how in your About Me section on your website that you do reference how your Italian heritage definitely influences you, and
absolutely,
and you infuse it with the New World. So how has your roots influenced you in not only your writing but also your communication practices?
So a little less known thing about Italian education is, and I'm dating myself, but when I grew up, all of our exams are oral. So a lot of our education is based upon conversation, which won't be a shock to you given my handles. So you study the information, and then you're called in class, in front of the class, to talk about what you learned. Oftentimes with a group of peers and in front of the teacher, and then transfer that to university where you're talking with other students at exams in front of a panel of teachers. So you learn very quickly that you need to learn how to expose information, connect with the conversation or what others are saying, build upon it, and make sure that you get across the meaning, and also that you make a connection with the people you're talking with so that they can evaluate whether you know what you learned or not. So a very small percentage of our exams were written. Now, they were terrifying. No dictionaries. I mean, I studied languages. English was my major. No dictionary. And you had to write essays in essay format, but you also had to show an appreciation and an understanding of rhetorical devices, and an ability to expose the information in a succinct space. So it was grueling. There were fewer exams, but they were really, really long. So you learn very quickly to take what you learn, or take what you and to defend it, with others in the written format. How to expose it, get your point across quickly, and then in a dialogue. And of course, you walk on the street, and I don't know if you've ever been to Italy.
No, I have not.
People have opinions.
I do know.
And you will always, if you know the language and if you're so inclined, you can always center a conversation at a crossroads near a cafe where people are very passionate about politics, about sports. So conversation is very much part of the fabric of the Italian, of being Italian. At least, at the time I lived there.
So now speaking and blogging is just the easy part now after all that.
And it's interesting because the feedback that I get with the blogging is I can't just scan your posts. I have to go back to them, or I have to bookmark them. Stop writing so much. And of course, I don't write. I write to think out loud. I'm a liberal arts major. And I got to business through liberal arts and through the expression of communication, which I'm very passionate about. And one of the things that I use the writing for in the blog is to think out loud. Many writers that I've studied or that I talk to say, I don't know what I think until I write it. And so, it's this process of learning and discovery with others and, kind of helping others and also getting energized by others. So that's what it is.
Absolutely. So going right into speaking, we're going to be at South by Southwest. So
yes, very excited.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what your session will be about.
So I am going to demystify some myths about influence. It's interesting because I noticed since I started writing about influence more frequently, the whole world is on the influence bandwagon now, which is very flattering, or maybe because the social media expert conversation has run out of juice. And so now everybody is trying to, quote unquote, influence each other or, show their mettle, so to speak, which is a very natural and human thing to do. But I'm going to talk about how everybody's wrong about influence except your customers. I'm very, very passionate about customers, about customer conversations. It's interesting because several years ago, I've been associated with Fast Company magazine for a number of years, in fact, from the beginning. Again, because I'm curious, I'm interested. I met the founders, and I thought, wow, work is personal. They get it. They are, almost writing. It was almost almost pulled an Ally McBeal of the business world. They started telling us what we were thinking about, and so people got really passionate. We had an amazing community. Not many know. Before Fast Company did the whole influence project, there were 42,000 community people within the magazine. We built a social network in Philadelphia. And so I was kind of on the ground floor of this. It was more than new economy. It was a movement. It was kind of an awakening of the possibilities that the confluence of technology and communication and new businesses and this younger, new energy brought together. And there was a lot of, I don't know if you remember, but it was built to last, and then it was built to flip, and then it was the bubble, and now are we in a second bubble? Yeah. So I would like to set the record straight because I think that we need to go back to humanism. I don't know if you're aware, Kevin Kelly just published I think his third book. So the first book is very prolific. I love his work, The Tech Human. What technology wants, which I thought was a very interesting way of looking at things. And it's encouraged me. I'm almost like channeling Kevin Kelly and Clay Shirky, but more practical. And the other thing that is surprising is that there is no, and I never play the pink card, everybody knows that, but there's no female perspective, there is no woman at any level talking about influence. It's almost like influence is a male thing. And so I kind of want us to take a step back and have a conversation around what are some of the attractors of influence? How does influence really work? How do you engage influence on behalf of yourself and of your business? How do you identify, attract it, develop it? And so, it's going to be, I'm very excited. I'm working on the deck now. I'm going to make it a very visual and kinesthetic experience, which will be challenging because I don't know if you've been at South by Southwest. The format is very much podium to audience.
Yes.
And I've asked them for a clip on mic, and I've also critiqued myself. I've seen myself at other events. I walk back and forth a lot, so people get busy. So I'm going to try to go in between, but I also know who's going to be in the room a little bit, and they're going to be part of the conversation. So very excited, and I hope you'll have the chance to come.
Yes, I was thinking about it. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, but next year, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So, we're talking about how customers are determining our influence now. And there's been 4 key departments that have always been assigned to influence customers, and that's PR, marketing, advertising, and even customer service. And now we're seeing that they're all kind of integrating, and we're in a conversation-dominated age. How do you see that moving forward in the future? Do you think that it's going to be totally integrated, or do you think that they are going to find their own expertise in the social world?
So here's what's interesting. There is two ways of looking at an organization's chart. For many years, I also got interested in organization development. One is the hierarchy, right, with the CEO on the top and his team, and then all of the teams flowing down from there, or reporting into. I look at the org chart in only one way. There's the customer who's at the top, and then there's everybody else. And how do you organize around the customer? And right now you have a lot of organizations, especially early stage companies, that are organizing in a very kind of product-centric fashion, which is interesting, almost like a la Apple. And when I look at Apple, I look at a company that is very customer-focused, not necessarily customer-centric. They're very product-centric. So it's interesting to me to see how we've evolved our kind of economy and business to get to the point where we have now a lot of service organizations, but then I'm also seeing how we're going back with technology and apps to a product-centric economy, which is very encouraging because we need to make things. I feel like we've lost touch with making things. But also I wouldn't want to lose touch with the whole communications and conversation aspects. And I was reading this morning about a conversation that is at Fred Wilson's blog, ABC, about marketing. And there is this sense from VCs that organizations, especially the organizations they fund, right, and they're pushing to make money, because it's always who's making the money, and so follow the money. You should start and really work on the product, and you shouldn't have a marketing budget. And I think it's a semantics issue. I think that a lot of people, when they think about marketing or communications or PR, they think about a department versus a mindset. And the reason why a lot of the communications or marketing communications functions seem broken, are broken, honestly, in organizations, it's because they've lost touch with what the organization does about. The organization doesn't know what it's about anymore. It was, sometimes in a monolithic industry, and then, competitions came in, or we didn't see competition coming, because guess what? Now the same job that they help solve for customers can be done in many other ways. And so they were never watching that, and now they have, to reinvent themselves. So I think there is a little bit of confusion. People confuse marketing with advertising, which is, kind of the promotional aspect of marketing. But marketing really needs to be baked in the DNA of the organization. When VCs talk about company founders getting the word out, that is marketing. Or company founders working on the product, that is marketing. Building, like the whole social media or social networks or social participation or socialisms that we are inventing every day to sound more interesting and sexy than everybody else. It's really, you should build the customer base right into the product. You should build participation. You should build co-creation right into the product. And so the challenge for PR and communication professionals, for marketers, is to really kind of take a step back and look at their skill sets, what they bring to the table. Are they really solving problems, or are they kind of putting a veneer, a shiny object veneer on a business problem, which may or may not get fixed in that fashion.
Hi, sorry the video ended early. We had camera difficulties. I hope you enjoyed what you saw though. You can follow Valeria at Conversation Age. You can follow me, Harrison Kratz, at Kratz PR, and I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Alright, take care everybody.